Once upon a time, in a place far, far away.
Sweden in 2009. I wouldn't exactly call that far, far away, and it's not like it's millions of years ago either. But I was acting like this took place in the prehistoric era.
Okay, just...
Sorry, continue. My bad.
Yeah. Anyway, there was an unemployed game developer who had an idea. An idea that would go on to change the world. He wanted to create his own game. A sandbox where the only limitation is the player's imagination. Enter Cave Game.
Right, I'm not being funny, but what the bloody hell is Cave Game?
That's actually the original name of Minecraft. It was soon renamed to what we know it as today though.
I mean, for good reason. That sounds terrible.
With help from a small community that the early game had developed and a small team, he had expanded the game into what it is today.
So, where do you begin?
He started with an empty, barren landscape which consisted of grass.
Just grass.
Well, I mean, there was cobblestone, but there really wasn't much in the game at this time. Like, all you could really do was place and break blocks.
Oh. Well, how long did we have to wait before the game began to somewhat resemble what we have today?
Not long at all. Soon after, the world began to take shape, with custom world generation added, as well as trees, lava, water, mountains and clouds. The vision of the game really began to show, and the world looked a little more natural. This was the single player creative mode. Something didn't quite feel right. Something was missing. Other people. Testing began on multiplayer servers, allowing people to join the game with their friends. We didn't know it then, but this moment would be the spark of what eventually became Shockbyte.
Shameless plug, really. Why not?
New items and blocks were also added, but still, something was missing. The game felt too easy. This is when survival mode was added. Work began on making the game more difficult and more challenging. Hostile mobs, such as zombies and skeletons, were added, but they couldn't attack.
Well, what was the point then?
Look, just bear with me. We're still in the very early days, okay? Sheep and pigs were also added, although the coding for the pig was messed up massively when it was added.
Okay, not really relevant though, is it?
Well, now you see, this error in coding turned into the staple of the game, the creeper. This stage of the game was known as Classic. Next to follow was the in-dev era of the game. During this we had dynamic lighting, a new sound engine, and arguably the most important addition, crafting.
Now, why did bro just drop the hardest crafting table edit to ever grace the earth?
So real. Anyway, after this the game went into InfDev.
It went into what? Sorry?
Look man, I don't know, don't question it. During InfDev, the entire world generation was renewed. The player was no longer bound to a square world, but instead terrain generation was infinite, with a few extra additions like ores to be discovered underground and the first naturally generating structure, dungeons.
Dungeons?
Spawners. Other tweaks and additions were made. The first official version of the game was then made available, with the addition of Secret Fridays, where a variety of random things were added to the game each Friday. The first being redstone, soon to be followed by snow, boots, cacti, sugarcane, paper, books, bricks, slimes, milk, chickens, eggs, jukeboxes and discs, fences, spider jockeys, bookshelves, winter mode, ice, large trees, furnace minecarts and chest minecarts. Oh, and sneaking.
Good God, how many Secret Friday updates were there?
10 in total, although one was on a Saturday, so not sure if you can count it. These Secret Friday updates were part of the alpha version of the game, which also introduced the Nether.
Yo, big up my guy, the Nether.
What?
I don't know, man. What was part of the Nether at this point?
In all honesty, it was a very bare bones version of the Nether. The fortress and things like that wouldn't be added until the official release of the game.
So what came after Alpha?
That's just a bit of a dumb question, really, but the beta version of the game added a vast amount of new features, as well as a hunger bar and a brand new logo for the game.
Somewhat unrelated, but did they ever manage to get rid of Herobrine?
Dude, I don't know. Can we stay on track, please?
Yeah, my bad. It was a serious question, but go on.
This was the Minecraft that honestly, if we played today, wouldn't feel so different.
Hey, you can't forget to mention everyone's favourite mob of all time, wolves.
Ah, wolves! The point is, we'd basically gotten there. Minecraft's official release on November 18th, 2011.
Wow, really skimming over the details with that one. What just happened?
The end was added!
Can we leave?
Nah, bro, we gotta get the dragon egg first.
Wow, the old village is very nostalgic.
Aren't they just? Oh, and for any eagle-eyed viewers watching this at home, you'll notice that the villages were actually added before the 1.0 update. However, we thought that it'd be a good transition, so sorry about that.
Update 1.0 and 1.1 also introduced the Nether Fortress, birch and spruce wood, super flat worlds, and a whole host of other items and features. However, the next major additions to the game came in version 1.2 and 1.3.
They introduced desert temples,
Abandoned mine shafts,
and jungles?
well, obviously they weren't the only 3 additions, but if we were to cover everything, this video would be 4 days long.
What are you doing?
Is this not how we're showcasing the bosses? I want it.
Fine, take it.
Yeah, this beacon gonna go so hard.
Now, although Minecraft 1.4 added the Wither and Beacon, overall it was a fairly small update in comparison to the more modern game updates, although there were a few extra additions to the game in this update. Other than command blocks, no others were really as notable as the Wither.
1.5 was the redstone update and added everything you see behind us. Oh, and this is when the current lava texture was added to the game.
Horse.
Yeah, 1.6 really didn't add much.
Although, 1.7 was one of the biggest updates the game received. It was released in 2013 and added 10 new biomes to the game. The Deep Ocean, Extreme Hills, Mega Taiga, Taiga, Flower Forest, Birch Forest, Roofed Forest, Sunflower Plains, the Savannah, and the Mesa.
Well, aptly named then.
What was its name?
The update that changed the world. Now, obviously with the incredible amount of biomes we were introduced to, they also came with their own host of features. A total of 85 new additions were added in this update alone.
Not to be outdone by the update that came before it, however, 1.8 was added, named the Bountiful Update. It added 93 new features to the game.
Arguably the biggest being the Ocean Monument, which also came with its own boss.
We aren't doing a boss battle for the Guardian.
Yeah, it is kind of mid.
Unfortunately, this was the last update where you could spam click with combat.
As much as we miss the spammy PvP, the combat update did introduce arguably the best feature of the game, the Elytra.
And in all fairness, the new combat system introduced in this update isn't all that bad, as it does require a level of skill that the previous combat system didn't.
1.9 also meant the introduction of end cities.
In all honesty, 1.10 was kind of a bare update. The main features to be added was the polar bear, and it didn't really make any big changes to the game. I mean, auto jump was added, but no one wants that to be covered, so moving swiftly on.
Now, obviously the Woodland Mansion was added in 1.11, we wouldn't be here otherwise. However, that wasn't the only addition in 1.11.
Although there was basically nothing else. 1.12 was the most vibrant update we've ever received.
With all 16 colour variations of concrete and concrete powder, as well as 16 different colours of glazed terracotta, everyone's builds naturally got a hell of a lot more colourful.
Oh yeah, we were also introduced to the parrot.
1.13, officially called the update Aquatic, was released in July 2018.
The update as a whole made Minecraft's oceans so much more lively, as well as introducing a large variety of technical changes to the game, such as a new swimming animation.
Not to break the, I guess, fifth wall now, but you may have noticed we've had these swimming animations the entire video. That's because it's entirely filmed in 1.19, sorry to break the illusion.
The audience did not need to be privy to that information.
Well, silly me.
Now, we couldn't talk about 1.13 without mentioning the second most controversial mob vote in the game.
The Phantom. Game looks a bit different.
Yeah, 1.14 not only introduced the pillager, but also gave the entire game a complete visual overhaul.
And the visual changes didn't just mean new textures, but we also got an entire new, more modern village added. I don't know, I still kind of prefer the old ones, maybe it's a nostalgia thing.
How? These new ones look so much better!
Yeah, maybe. The old blacksmith is the goat though. Bees.
Finally! A big update!
1.16, or the Nether update, added roughly 100 new features for a complete overhaul of the Nether, and introduced Nether biomes as well as a few extra mobs.
Those being the Hoglin, the Zoglin, the Piglin, the Zombified Piglin, the Piglin Brute, and the Strider.
And this cool blue fighter.
The three latest updates to the game, 1.17 to 1.19, all somewhat go hand in hand. They were all completely feature-packed.
Here's a quick recap of all the big changes and additions.
Extended world height,
Axolotls,
the Deep Dark,
cave biomes,
the Warden,
frogs,
goats,
the glow squid,
amethyst geodes,
candles,
copper,
deep slate and deep slate ores,
and azalea trees.
plus a huge variety of other items, features and changes that unfortunately we don't have time to list.
Now, although we may or may not have skimmed over a few details here and there, that's all we have for the major Minecraft updates.
We hope you enjoyed this little tour of Minecraft through the ages.
And from all of us at Shockbyte, we want to wish Minecraft and Mojang a happy 14th birthday. And to all of you viewers out there, thanks for watching.